Kind of sound like a broken record here. Hot, dry, very windy this summer. The conditions they're having a big impact on Utah's wildfire season. We've been talking about it all summer long. But according to the latest report from Utah Fire Info, fire crews are working to put out 8 wildfires across the state. 2026 has been a pretty long and busy fire season. That's an understatement, really. More than 750 wildfires in the state, more than half of them human caused. In total, more than 470,000 acres have been scorched. As the summer continues, these numbers will most certainly continue to rise. Wildfires, they're starting earlier, they're moving quicker and into areas that typically don't see wildfire activity. That's according to people who study the impacts of fires and the impacts that they've had on Utah. I did have a chance to speak with a U of U professor, his name is Tom Cova, about how much the fire activity has changed just over the last decade.
The fire activity has really picked up, in the last 10 years. And, even in the last year or this year, Canada had its biggest fire year in 2023, I think, in the summer of 23. And then if you look at the smoke this year, that was impacting the World Cup and everything, they're having another historically big year. We're talking acreage in this context, it's mostly forests. Fires are moving faster than we've ever seen. Whereas you used to think, oh, if there's a fire, I'll be alerted, I'll be given, some kind of warning. And then I'll have an hour or two to gather my stuff together and pets and kids and notify neighbors and family and everything. Yes, that still exists, but now there's more and more of these ones where it's just, you'll see the word fast moving in the news in front of many different fires. For years, we've seen anecdotes from experienced firefighters in Texas and California and in the West saying, we've never seen a fire move like that. That's a pretty common quote from very experienced firefighters. But now it's like every week there's someone saying fast moving fire. And so you may not have as much time as you used to think. So if you live in a fire area, you have to be ready to go on a moment's notice. It's just the reality of today's fire context. The next thing is that a lot of people don't realize they live in a fire area. It's just ember showers from structures across the road that don't let up until everything is on fire. So a lot of people, maybe give you some local examples, like Holiday may not feel like they live in a wildfire area, but if you follow the homes up through Olympus Cove and into Mill Creek, that's the kind of fuel bridge that I think that's what we just saw in Spokane. I haven't studied enough yet, but I'm pretty sure the Spokane Valley residents didn't think they lived in wildlands. Certainly not the kind of place where you would have 600 plus homes burned in one afternoon.
I did put this whole interview with Tom up on our KUTV YouTube page if you'd like to go check it out. A really interesting conversation. I also wrote an article on this topic, which you can read over at KUTV.com. It's posted right now. And here on 2 News at 4:15, I discuss a lot of different topics with experts. Things like the war in Iran, UDOT's plans to rebuild the collapsed State Road 153 in Beaver Canyon, and the impacts of AI. You can find all of those interviews by scanning the QR code that you see right there on your screen.